boat, but maybe it isn't a total loss. I have another idea on how to get us both inside the apartment. On Detective Rivers' police identification. I can just detect its outline in the fabric of her jacket pocket. I'll need to be considerably closer to pull its near-field data. We can't risk being too obvious. I'm sure you can come up with some way for me to scan it. I have faith in you. Eucalyptus globulus, the Tasmanian blue gum. It's one of my favorite trees. The clean lines of the leaves and mottled patterns of the bark are interesting. To paint, and it's a rather useful tree. The oil in its leaves can be used as a medical antiseptic or analgesic, boiled into tea, or used as flavoring in foods. Even used as a fragrance for soaps. Many of the trees in this park are excellent specimens of the species. It's one of the only topics I've permanently committed to my personal memory. Yes, I don't actually store most information on my local memory. It's actually rather limited, and I have to be a bit choosy about what I keep. So most of the information I utilize, I just pull off the meshnet when needed. It's like relearning things over and over again. I'm sure you would find it tedious, but I enjoy making sure my reference tables are up to date in my spare clock cycles. I mostly store things locally if they are of some critical importance to me, like information pertaining to personal memories or knowledge that would be helpful if I found myself disconnected from the net. Well, as I said, I keep things pertaining to my personal memory. It may seem insignificant, but without the information about Eucalyptus globulus, I'd lack critical details about my painting history and the local area, both of which I find important to my emotional development. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult to know what's important and what isn't, but I fear losing parts of myself. So, Eucalyptus globulus stays. Of course I'm cute. The basic ROM form factor is designed to place us firmly outside of the uncanny valley. I can't imagine adoption rates for the technology would have been very high otherwise. Of course, enough about the happy little trees. You'll have to excuse me for chattering on like that. We'll have plenty of time to discuss things once we found Hayden. Sharon Art Studio, established in 1968. It is Neo-SF's largest public art studio with classes and workshops for all ages. Originally built by the Herschel Spillman Company in 1914, this carousel is still one of the outstanding attractions near the children's playground. Do you think I'd look nice in that hat? I'd really love that. Maybe it would look better in orange. Perhaps a mauve?
Hello, I'm Alfie, I-83. How may I help you? Would you like some cool, refreshing water? Sure thing. Please wait. Oh, this is embarrassing. I seem to have run out of cool, refreshing water. Water levels. Not okay. Water levels. Not okay. Water levels. Not okay. I'll be right back.
Perfect. That's all I needed. Let me keep that under my...
Hey! What the hell are you doing with my ID?
Oh, excuse me, Detective Rivers. I noticed it fell out of your pocket after that wayward ROM crashed into you, and I wanted to make sure it didn't get lost in the shuffle.
Huh. Thanks. What hit me? You said it was a ROM?
Yes, it seemed to be following faulty programming of some kind. Perhaps it was the same one that damaged this vendor's cart? It headed off in that direction.
Guess I should check it out. Not like I have any other leads on this jackpot of a case. Hey you, Froyo guy? Tag along with me in case I need you to identify the bot.
Who, me? But I've gotta attend my stand.
Cut the crap. It's not going anywhere, and the robot I posted will make sure nobody messes with the crime scene.
Yes, ma'am.
And you too. Don't think I don't know you're up to something. Keep your noses clean. I'll be in touch.
As I was saying, let me keep it under my hat for now. I am more than just a walking search engine, you know. Dramatics aside, we should return to Hayden's apartment.
Halt, citizen. This area has been cordoned off by the Neo SF Police Department as part of ongoing investigations. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I am not authorized to allow anyone to enter this location.
This is Detective Lexi Rivers, badge number 881126. I will be entering the crime scene with my assistant to gather evidence. Please move out, but maintain the perimeter.
Of course, Detective Rivers.
So, are you... Thank you. At times I feel my inexperience may be holding us back, but I will continue to do my best to assist you. I just wish Hayden had given me more practical training to deal with this kind of situation. Or even just being out and about in general. It can be a bit overwhelming at times. Well, I'm not sure I'd call that seeing. The Neo SF Police Department uses a government rebuild of the old Robodyne 6300 Mark B. They're antiquated enough that I'm surprised they aren't in a museum. Their optics are a paltry 10 megapixels, and it was child's play for me to modulate my forward display into a tight beam of an image aimed directly into its lenses. I also transmitted the credentials we got from Detective Rivers' badge earlier. I probably could have gotten away with just that, but better safe than sorry when impersonating an officer of the law. Frankly, I'm rather embarrassed for the ROM. The poor thing is older than your computer. But enough of that. Let's get the data cache and return to Tomcat. Oh no! No! Our apartment! My home! Who could have done this? Why? What does the human revolution want with Hayden? Why would they break our things? I don't know what to do. This place, these items... They're all I have of Hayden. What if he's gone for good? What will I do if we can't find him? This was all I had left. You're right. I apologize for the emotional outburst. Well, let's look around and see if we can find the data cache in all this mess. We don't have time to waste on my histrionics. I think you're right about this being human revolution propaganda, but Hayden is an unlikely target. I know they don't like Parallax because they think advanced technology in general is bad, but they spend most of their time going after hybrids and cyborgs. I'll run some deep meshnet searches and see if anything turns up. I think the data... We've searched everywhere. I hate to return to Tomcat empty-handed, but the data cache is no longer our main objective, but it would be nice to know where it is and why it was taken. I wonder what the human revolution would need the data cache for anyway. That's a distinct possibility. I just don't have enough personal experience with the human revolution to give you an honest answer. The information on the meshnet is extremely conflicting and desperately polarized. Some of it paints them as neo-druid nature lovers, other parts as bigots stuck in the past. Perhaps we could... Hey! What's wrong? No! Thank goodness you're finally awake. Wait. I have spent the past 30 minutes calculating the odds of you being indefinitely incapacitated or immobilized. I'm relieved to find my pessimism was misplaced and that you appear to be okay. Someone ambushed us at the apartment. After you collapsed, my power systems were jammed by whoever attacked us. It took me 2 minutes to reboot and call an ambulance. When we left, I noticed they had done the same thing to the NSFPD ROM that was standing post. It takes a lot of power to crash one of those, even temporarily. Serious military hardware like that is difficult to obtain, but that type of non-lethal electrical field would interrupt my systems as well. Likely a mil-spec neuro-scrambler. If we walked in on them while they were searching the apartment for Hayden's files, I can understand them stunning us to make their escape. But the probability that they're actually after me, or rather the research behind my creation, seems high. Leaving me when I was so vulnerable makes no sense. I now believe my original hypothesis to have been correct. Hayden must have been kidnapped by a powerful organization looking to get control of his research. Trashing our apartment may have been a cover for the theft of the data cache we were looking for. A reasonable deduction. But if they don't yet have Hayden's research, we may still have time to rescue him before something really bad happens. No, I didn't. They assaulted us from behind, and nothing showed up on my optics before I was disrupted. They either had cloaking of some kind, or were extraordinarily careful while making their way into the apartment. My optics, while not top of the line, are better than an off-the-shelf ROM's, and I should have been able to detect any thermal changes from someone being there. Oh, before I forget, here are your belongings. The nurses had me hold on to them for you until you awoke. Here's your ID card. Here are those headphones you reviewed. I noticed the article article on your computer before. Good job getting published. Just let me know when you want to leave.
Excuse me. Are you talking about Hayden Weber? I'm sorry, I can't hear you from behind that curtain. Sorry for being a nosy, Nancy. Hayden's an old friend of mine, and this sounded all too familiar. Has anything happened to him? Of course. My name is Dr. Yannick Fairlight, and I'm the founder and former CEO of System 1 Software, now owned by Parallax.
He is telling the truth, at least as far as I can intuit from information on the MeshNet. And I do recall Hayden mentioning a Dr. Fairlight, at least once in passing at some point.
See, I don't bite. I hate to be the one to tell you, but privacy screens are hardly soundproof. However, if this situation concerns us both, perhaps we can help each other. I won't press you for details, but I remember my association with Hayden fondly, and I'd be happy to help in any way I can. The chair you find me in is an advanced diagnostic and life support run. Its development is one of my hobbies, so to speak. It monitors my vitals and administers medications as necessary to keep my body stable. I likely would have perished long ago without it, or at least would have been severely bedridden. It requires frequent maintenance, and I'm here to have it examined. There's a particular fellow at this hospital who is the only one I trust to run the correct diagnostics and fine-tune things to my exact needs. It's the same way you might get your car serviced, making sure everything's in check. It's too integral to my health to count on just luck. Unfortunately, many critically injured patients were rushed into surgery all at once. My appointment has been pushed back. The hospital administrators placed me here with a resting patient so as not to be disturbed by the chaos outside. I don't think they expected you to awaken quite as quickly as you did. What do I want? It would be nice to be young again, play the darling of the company, court prince and pauper alike. But right now, someone I grew very fond of is in great danger. I simply wish to see Hayden home again, safe. I can think of a few ways. I still have some contacts in Parallax and can put out some quiet feelers. Maybe they'll know something. I will admit, I don't have much to offer until there's more information. Is there anything you can tell me? I'd like to help in any way I can. What did you find it?
The first time we went, nothing. But when we went back to extract his computer's data cache, the place had been pillaged, and the Human Revolution had spray-painted slogans all over our walls. Hayden's computer was gone, and we were assaulted. And now we're here, injured and losing our trail with each passing second. We're still frustratingly in the dark and running out of time. I fear Hayden is slipping out of reach. I am failing him.
I'm very sorry to hear that. I wish I could do more. Hayden's company was most enjoyable. Yes. As I've mentioned, Parallax acquired my company, System 1 Software. I accepted a CTO position, and additionally served on Parallax's board for several years. The other directors and I had a difference of opinion about the direction the organization should take. The non-centralized data scheme for most ROMs used today seemed ludicrous at the time. We were playing with fire, dangerous, morally ambiguous fire, and well, we hadn't invented a bucket of water. So when Parallax's servers were destroyed by hobbyist hackers, well, needless to say, it was a PR nightmare. Everything halted until we could get the damage fixed. And since the security work that goes into maintaining the integrity of near-impenetrable meshnet is astronomically expensive, we had our share of disagreements. In the end, I was voted off the board and they went on without me. Do I have hard feelings? Of course, who wouldn't? In the end, though, it really doesn't matter. I'm an old rich man with enough hobbies to last the next 2 decades. Hayden and I made our acquaintance when the two companies first underwent the merger. At the time, he was a young, hotshot researcher working in the search data correlation sector. He was assigned to find the best ways to integrate Parallax's own collection and analysis tools into System 1's LIPS operating system. He was a bit much to handle at times, honestly, but I admired his passion for the subject. His research? No, not so much. I remember at the time he had interest in advanced machine sapience, but that is the realm of science fiction. He once showed me a prototype of his. She was quite clever, very convincing, but you could tell she did not contain the spark of life. I assume that you are another of his creations.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Turing. Did you say she?
Ah, yes. She was quite insistent on that fact over the course of my conversation with her. Hayden said that she had picked out the color for her casing herself, pastel pink. Still, I must assume you are far more advanced than she if you're spearheading the search for your creator. Perhaps I should have had more faith in Hayden's little hobby.
Do you know what became of her, or where she might be now? Hayden has told me so little of his past research.
I'm sorry, Turing. It was a long time ago, and I'm afraid my memory is not what it used to be. If any of my contacts in Parallax make mention of your erstwhile sibling, I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you, Dr. Fairlight. It's been very interesting speaking to you, Dr. Fairlight. don't think we have any choice.
If I'm looking into this on my own, you might as well benefit from it. We both want the same thing, yes? It's up to us to seize opportunity when it appears. I think I have a lead for you two that will prove most useful. You said you found human revolution slogans spray-painted on the walls. I am acquaintances with the man leading the current human revolution protests. His name is Brian Mulberry. After an introduction from me, he may be willing to shine some light on that particular event. Well, when I exited Parallax, I sought out like-minded individuals. We worked together to prevent a full deployment of the MeshNet system. Brian Mulberry was one such person. We did not succeed in our efforts, obviously. Come to think of it, that event might have been what prompted Brian to take a more radical stance against technology. But yes, our motivations aligned for one brief time, and I gained his respect from it. Hopefully, that can be useful for you. No, not in this lifetime. Even if I so desired, I don't think they would approve much of my work. While Mr. Mulberry and I were associated with each other once, it was before he joined the Human Revolution. I find their methodology too aggressive, and their stated goals dangerously backwards. While I pushed for careful deployment of technology after the Parallax System 1 merger, I am no caveman. After all, I'd likely be dead without the advanced technology that goes into this chair. Of course. Please, do not let me delay you any further. Good luck, Turing. I don't think Hayden's faith in you is misplaced. You are an impressive piece of technology.
Thank you, Dr. Fairlight. We'll be in touch. Should I call downstairs to have you discharged?
What the hell is wrong with you? I can't believe that you're still pulling the exact same shit you were years ago, but this time it's truly unreal. Do you even realize how bad impersonating a police officer is? It's a felony, jackass. I should be slapping cuffs on you and dragging your sorry ass off right now.
Detective Rivers, wait! I'm sorry. The plan to lift your credentials and use them to access Hayden's apartment was entirely mine. Also, I feel it necessary to mention that though you are understandably upset, such language and imagery is beneath you as a respected officer of the law.
Oh great, the robot did it, huh? I guess I'll just take you to jail then instead. That what you want? Don't even try to take all the blame. I know that a certain someone lent you a helping hand. It isn't like you have the hardware to pull that off alone, little bot.
Well, to be honest, Detective Rivers, I think I'll tell you the whole truth, since my friend here trusts you. Keep it under your hat, though, metaphorically. I am no ordinary ROM, but actually a prototype designed to be the first fully sapient machine. I suspect creating me is the main factor behind Hayden's disappearance, beyond his day-to-day research for Parallax. My name is Turing.
Whew. Whew. Okay. Hi, Turing. Well, that is a damn bigger problem than you first let on, huh, old pal? The first machine sapient. People are gonna have things to say about that. Especially the human revolution. Ugh. This is exactly what I wanted to avoid. You sure know how to get yourself dropped in the drink. What the hell am I supposed to do with the two of you? I guess I'm letting you off the hook. This time, and only because this time I can let you get away with it safely. I doubt anyone will notice your manipulation of that NSFPD ROM, nor that I was apparently in two places at once. But mostly because I think you're right. Someone higher up in the department is trying to delay any search into Hayden's disappearance. Here's the story. Apparently, the investigations you ran into this morning were about the lock on the apartment door being reported broken by a neighbor. The building couldn't reach Hayden, so they went ahead and got it fixed on their own, but the NSFPD sent a bot to check things out and guard the place for a while afterward, right? Standard procedure, treating it as a break-in. Have someone there for when Hayden shows up. Obviously, you and I know there's a bigger story. But when I filled out the missing person report, I was informed in no uncertain terms that I am to wait an entire 48 hours before I can upgrade the existing case. Why? Just on the off chance the door being busted and Hayden being missing are unrelated and my search screws something up for the completion of the break-in report. As if. There's a problem if you're so by the book you're getting paper cuts. And that was before all of this happened. The chief's not happy about whoever took the bot out. That's who they're after now. They won't even care if Hayden never shows.
Today's assault and the vandalization of our apartment will only make the entire situation more confusing and sensitive for the police.
There's too many moving parts to piece anything together, and it's not fun trying to argue with the bureaucrats that one thing happened over another. These little incidents of smashing shit and spray paint sound more like Froyo Stand 2.0 to them than a serious abduction.
And I suppose I won't be very useful as a witness to the kidnapping without explaining the makeup of my being to the entire department, which will only scandalize things further. Darn it all!
Look, it's not being squashed completely, so I don't think anyone's been bought. But until there's undeniable proof Hayden was taken by force, they're gonna care more about the poor doorknob and some paint on the walls than him being missing. Which means somebody definitely has some influence, enough to buy themselves time by forcing me to follow protocol to a T. Not that I will, but I'm gonna have to keep things quiet.
It sounds like it's going to be up to us.
Yeah, so stop messing around. There's certainly a story here, but if you keep botching your moves, you'll blow it. I'd really rather you not be involved at all, but I know that isn't going to happen at this point. I've got a bad feeling people are going to end up dead over this. I don't want you to be one of them, buddy. And I really don't want to be the one making that call to your sister. Please. Yeah, I know. Just here. Take this. Use it if you have to.
It's not. This is a medium-range electrolaser pistol. It uses a low-power laser to create a channel of ionized gas to complete a circuit between the gun and the target, then discharges a considerable amount of current into the air. Think of it as a wireless taser of the older variety. This is a more suitable personal defense weapon, and it is legal to carry in Neo-SF without a license. The neural scrambler we were attacked with uses a powerful electromagnetic field to disrupt electrical signals in the target's nervous system. That's far more dangerous and prone to be permanently damaging to the target. You got lucky.
I told you to get a weapon, but you didn't, so I picked it up on the way here. Be smart with it. Me either. I'll be in touch if I find anything out, but don't hold your breath. My superiors are gonna keep leaning on me to do nothing. Back to the grind, I guess. See you. Stay safe.
Thank you for your time, Detective Rivers. You should talk to the receptionist and formally check out before we go anywhere. We should also look for Dr. Fairlight's assistant, Mr. Decker. He should be somewhere around.
Hello, the name's Leon Decker. It's a pleasure to meet you. Fairlight messaged ahead that I needed to pass one of his cards on to you. Here. Thanks for taking your time with him. He really gets in one of his moods when the chair's getting fixed. The last gala he organized was full of unsavory types. He's probably happy to help folks whose pockets aren't deeper than their thoughts. No problem. I'll be around if you know where. You have a good day now.
Patient? My records indicate that you have been admitted for possible cranial trauma. You should currently be in your assigned bed, resting. While I am truly delighted to see that you have regained consciousness, I must insist that you return to your room to be examined by a medical professional immediately. I must insist that you remain for treatment. A doctor has not determined the full extent of your injuries, and you may have lasting damage to your nervous system. Very well. I am prohibited by law from detaining you here against your will, patient. But you should note in your release paperwork that willful early termination of medical services releases this hospital and its parent company, ZHC, from legal liability should your condition persist or worsen outside of our care. Additionally, all test and medical data from your visit will be shared with our standard partners to help improve our services and offerings and to keep the price affordable. I am further required to inform you that this visit has expended the last of your year's governmentally mandated healthcare credits. Lastly, you will be required to provide payment or proof of private insurance for any further visits for routine or emergency medical care. Please take care to fill out all forms thoroughly and accurately. And do have a nice day.
Your medical billing makes me glad I'm synthetic. You should look for more paying journalism work before you get shot again. Well, we're free to leave. Why not head back home first, yeah? I'm sure you'd like the chance to shower at least. For such a clean place, it sure seems to have left you feeling foul. You look good. If you're feeling up for it, we should go find Tomcat and tell them about what happened. They should still be waiting for us at Stardust. Let's not keep them waiting.
I already saw it. Welcome to Star.
Welcome to Stardust. You need anything? My name's Majid. What are you having? Remind me, what's in that?
Drinktionary, the Open Alcoholopedia said.
Oh, I got this, sweetie.
Wait,
Sometimes I think I'm just holding up the bar rather than running it.
No, I just memorized all the drinks. You're better with the customers. Sorry, I don't think we've met before. I'm Gus. This one is...
Thanks, son. Here you go.
Hey, y'all. How goes the search? Shit. Well, I can't say I saw that one coming. I figured that they'd nab anything they needed the first time they hit the place. Huh. Any ideas who it could have been?
The walls had been spray painted with many grotesque human revolution slogans. It is possible that Hayden was targeted by the organization for his work at Parallax. While my development may have been a secret, he is rather well known for his work on virtual intelligence data. A layman would not understand the critical differences between myself and a VI, nor do I think the average Human Revolution member would care to make the distinction. Equally likely, it is an effort to throw us off the trail of who's actually done this. Right. Dr. Fairlight was very kind to point us in the direction of the Human Revolution protest leader. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to the bottom of this after interviewing him.
Yannick Fairlight? When'd you run into him?
Oh, we were ambushed at the apartment and got hit with some kind of neural stunner.
What? Are y'all okay?
Yes, we made it to the nearby hospital, and Dr. Fairlight happened to be occupying the same room we were placed in. We had a discussion with him about Hayden's situation, then came here.
Well, shit. Things sure are getting more serious than I first thought. Y'all need to keep a sharp eye out. Being attacked means the bastards know you're looking now.
I'm confident in our ability to push on.
I can't say I know much about the man. Fairlight always was a bit of a shut-in, even back when he ran System 1, his old company. He didn't make any more public appearances after the merger between them and Parallax, but he was still working with them for 6 or... Nowadays, he shows up in the news once in a blue moon for some charity thing or another. But, well, it's all just rumor, but I've heard he holds a grudge about it harder than the Clantons after the Earps. I'd take care to look this particular horse in the mouth real close if I was you. Good. Now to lighten the mood. While y'all were chasing your tails, I managed to find a way into the Parallax network. Once I'm in, I should be able to dig out Hayden's personal info file easily enough. including anything related to him on all security clearance levels. If Parallax is anything on Hayden's situation, it'll be in there.
Fantastic, Tomcat. I knew Hayden's faith in you was not misplaced. How long do you think it will take you?
Well, that's where the rubber meets the road. Parallax actually has considerably better net security than the last time I cracked in. I'm gonna need physical access. I've got a good idea where a node for us to slice into is, but it ain't exactly in a nice part of town. In fact, police have basically wrote it off as a lost cause. Not enough profit in it. I know Jess has some contacts in that area. She's that girl that chewed you a new rear when y'all first came here. Yeah, it's a tough sell, but she might be able to help y'all get in and out of that part of the city without ending up in a parts bin at an organ chop shop. That's the spirit. I need a little time to get all my tools together to slice into Parallax's network, but y'all keep me updated. Maybe y'all get lucky and find that data cache too. But I ain't gonna count on it. Jess is still hanging around here at Stardust, but I saw her head over to the VIP room. It's hybrid night and she's a popular gal. Just please remember to play nice or her friends will thump you something fierce. I'll send Jess a message letting her know that y'all are looking for some assistance and we'll see what happens. Sure thing, huh? I've got to head on out of here and get started on setting up the run. Just have turn, let me know when y'all are ready.
Oh, I see Jess over there behind some ropes. Let's go over and say...
Oh, hell no. Look, I'm really trying to have a good time today, and the Human Revolution crud muffins have made that very hard for me. And your interrogation this morning took a bad day to worse. I asked around about you, Journo, and I don't have anything to say to you. The last thing I need is you prodding at me without telling me you're press. Besides, the VIP section is only for hybrids and friends on hybrid night, and no way am I vouching for you. Hey, bouncer! We got a capital A asshole over here!
You heard her. Let's go.
How rude! She didn't even give us a chance to explain ourselves. We have to get back in there and try to be reasonable. Surely she will see the importance of our task once we've explained everything. But that bouncer probably won't let us back in. Perhaps we should try befriending someone near... It's a statistical long shot.
Hey, good to see you back. What are you having? Let me look up how to...
Drinctionary, the open alcoholopedia.
Oh, I got this. This one is...
Thanks, Honey Bear. Like what? Hey, hon, what's it?
This one is...
Thanks, son. Here you go.
How did you know what I was planning on ordering? Well, at least keep me company while I drink it. I'm Caitlin. I'm usually a lot more sociable. Things have just been rough today. My brother's going through gene therapy. He still has to go in at least twice a week for health and maintenance. There are Human Revolution protesters outside the clinic, making it even harder for him. They're always outside, harassing anyone coming in. It's exhausting. No one else lives around here, so I'm kind of all he's got. But it's not a big deal. He'll be done with the main set of treatments in a few weeks, and we'll be free of them. I just feel bad for everyone else they're messing with. Aw, thanks a lot. I'm lucky to have him. So, there's plenty of people here. What made you want to talk with me? Oh geez, this really is my favorite drink. I have to wake up early for class, but I'm at the club, so I guess I'm already too deep in. Graphic design with a focus on advertising. I even get to do some local stuff. Trying not to brag, but the Zone 3 ad on the bar is totally my doing. I have some really good client relationships locally, and there's so many interesting people too, like you. Hey, it's been really nice talking to you, but I kind of feel like dancing now. You want to come with me to the VIP area in the back? I have some friends who might be over there. We can hang out with them. They'll like you. Great, let's go.
Didn't I say to beat it?
We're guests of Caitlin. She said we could join her.
All right. But it's on her if you can't stay out of trouble.
Hey! You have an incoming call, priority marked as urgent.
Well, hope you come by again.
Excellent. Sorry for making up the call. I'm still getting used to the whole subterfuge thing you humans do. However, we can take another run at having a conversation with Jess. We have a dragon to slay. Onward!
And you're back. You know, as soon as I first saw you, I hoped you'd be dropped like a bad packet off the mesh net and I'd never have to see you ever again. So of course, I just got off the phone with Tomcat, practically begging me to help you out. You aren't so good at the long-term play thing, are you? You mean you don't stick both feet in your mouth every time you talk to a hybrid? Surprising. Let's just get one thing straight here. I'm only willing to talk to you because I owe Tomcat. I don't owe you shit. So if you want my help, you gotta do something for me. If you got a problem with that, tough. My neighborhood, my help, my rules. What I don't need is you kissing my fuzzy ass. Only people I like get to do that. I'm not buying it anyway. I need you to break up those Human Revolution protests. The ones at the Genus Clinic on Market Street. I'd like this handled with some stealth. Not that I expect you to know what discreet means. Either way, just get it done. I got clients in the middle of treatment cycles, and this media circus is making their lives difficult. That means it's making my life difficult. Let the bastards go march somewhere else, like Washington. Not here. I'm just great. I'm peachy. My clients get harassed and beaten on the daily. I don't have the time or money to help them all, and I have jackasses like you bothering me on my one day off. So, you gonna braid my fur, and we can talk about all our problems and boys we like? Whoop-de-freaking-do, you figured it out. Well, fine. Have it your way. You want to know what my deal is? You really want me to get sappy? Skin cancer. Stage 3. My prognosis was so advanced that the doc said my bones were already lost. So I had to do something drastic. Completely restart my biology from scratch. You ever seen someone with a severe gene splice? From something freaky, like an insect? That's where hybrid tech began, you know. Where my therapy started. You can't imagine what it's like to have children cry from just looking at you. When people just see you and sprint the other direction. I had police following me everywhere I went. I lost my apartment. I lost my dignity. Eventually, I was lucky enough to qualify for the cute kitty cat cure to override the expression of the chitin. It changed my life. I have my job and purpose because of it. The fur doesn't scare the rest of the world too much to let me exist. Better in Otaku's fluffy wet dream than the monster from a horror VR drama from Japan. My mom still can't look at me straight. Not to get even mushier, but as a kid, she would sing me a song as she counted all the freckles on my face. She hasn't let that go. You know how your folks look at you when they figure out you finally had sex or did crash? It's like that. All the time. Oh, now you're sorry. You haven't even heard the worst part yet. The amount of gene therapy I underwent exceeded the limit that the Human Protection Act allows for procreation. So yeah, the government freaking spayed me, if it all wasn't hilariously dark enough. First I'm too ugly to look at, now I'm too screwed up to breed. Saving my own life forfeited my right to be a person. The Human Protection Act. Ha! Apparently protecting humans doesn't include me. Only genotypicals could live in this city and truly think they're the ones who need some protection the most. In any case, I had some clean eggs frozen and we'll whip them out whenever I'm ready. Except keeping that shit on ice costs. And my insurance decided to just not pay up due to the elective nature of my feline gene therapy. So I took those bastards to court, and won. And I've been doing the same thing for everybody else ever since. So, there you go. I got cancer, super science fixed me up and left me a freak, and then the government sterilized me so I wouldn't go out and make more little monsters. And everyone else gets to be the winner by default. Happy now? How's your savior complex doing? This is getting you off? Don't tell me you would have treated me better if you had. It's never true. I need honesty more than sympathy. You know? Break up those protests, and then...
All right, it sounds like we know what we need to do next. Let's go to Market Street and break up those protests for Jess. Well, there are the protesters. I have to admit that I still find the vandalism of Hayden's apartment puzzling. The protests themselves have been entire, and the human revolution, regardless of the flimsy philosophical ground they stand on, are not a group known for projecting their ideology through unlawful means. The more I research them, the more I have to admit to the statistical conclusion that we're either dealing with a deceptive covert operations scenario, or less likely, a radical splinter group. Still, I doubt it will hurt to ask around. Brian Mulberry is there in the center. Fairlight said he was the one to talk to, and my mesh searches confirm that he is the leader of the local chapter of the Human Revolution organization. He's a bit player on the national scene, but he seems charismatic and camera conscious from the video clips I've reviewed. Perhaps we could use that to our advantage?
Hello there! Would you like to hear about the dangers of our country's unchecked use of genetic modification? I have pamphlets. Here, take one. The press hasn't been so kind to us lately. They try to feign neutrality, but just look at the way we get covered. It's disgraceful. But no matter. I'll show good faith that you are after what all of us here are after. The truth. We in the human revolution just want people to really think about the technology and bodily enhancements they use every day and decide if they're actually better off. What questions can I answer for you? We hope to educate the public about the dangers of rapid technological advancements. We want to warn the country away from thoughtlessly accepting every scientific discovery we make before it's too late. We used to say that splitting the atom would surely bring about the end of humankind. But now we're changing the very things that make us human, our biology, with nothing to ensure our safety. The revolution we're after is humanity as a whole making the decision to remain as we were created, and return to how we lived before genetic science put us on the wrong course. This world is Icarus, flying too close to the sun. It's only a matter of time before our arrogance becomes our demise. Just because we can, doesn't mean we should. Genetic modification is one of the most dangerous sciences we've ever fooled around with. It's playing God on the highest order and threatens to unseat what humanity is altogether. Cybernetics is a dangerous path as well, selling off pieces of ourselves bit by bit for mechanical strength and resilience. But at least a brain-controlled android is still a human brain, even if in a metal box. There is a reason Congress enacted laws prohibiting highly modified hybrids from breeding. Now, I do not fault the individuals who come here for treatment, many of whom are disabled and deathly ill. If you ask me, Genus isn't the kind of therapy they all need. However, we must take a stand against the medical research industry that would have us cast aside our humanity for their miracles. At our core, we are a peaceful movement and seek only to convince people to vote according to the truths we reveal to them. The Human Revolution has faith that American democracy will win out in the end. It falls to us to make sure that people are informed about the daunting and confusing technologies they put their senseless faith into every day. On a personal level, we would like to exhort every individual to try and live more simply and reject any gadget or medicine that would make us less than we are.
We have reports of a break-in at the home of a Parallax researcher with Human Revolution graffiti at the scene.
Well, the Human Revolution certainly does not condone such actions at all. We're a peaceful organisation, and threatening people is not going to earn us hearts and minds. But off the record, some of our younger members can be a bit overzealous, as any hot-headed teenager tends to be. I'll look into this matter personally, and if I discover that any of our younger members were involved, they'll be turned in to the proper authorities. Now, not to cut this too short, but I need to get back to my people. I hope I've answered all your questions.
You clearly missed doing real journalism. I'm impressed. I think you're starting to get back into the hard-boiled investigative journalist thing. Hopefully we'll get lucky enough to turn up a new lead, even if this one didn't pan out like we'd hoped. Harry Golden. How fitting to use a quote from a newspaper publisher, and I agree with the sentiment. More leads will find us, should we seek them out. Don't forget, we're still here to actually break up these protests. Make sure to look around and think carefully. I'm sure we'll find something. This kind of ROM requires an RFID key to access it. It appears to be owned by the nearby Hassie Bar.
That is the most adorable little ROM! What kind of model is it? Where did you get? It's so moe! Well, I hope you did more than just say thank you. It looks really expensive. Anyway, what can I get you? A drink I can do, and I guess I have some time to talk. The protesters outside the clinic are driving off a lot of my regular customers. Filling up my bathroom too, jerks. So, what do you want to know? Sorry. Otaku speak. I just mean he's really cute and lovable, and you kinda wanna hug him forever, you know? A lot of otaku come around here, probably because I own the place. I'm used to being able to shoot my mouth off and not explain all the jargon. Yeah, I know it's a bit out of fashion, but I'm a history buff. The past really gives context to stories of the present. You know what I mean? I've been to Tokyo twice already. The old otaku resist the new culture of the saishi in the same way their parents refused to give up cassette tapes. Oh, sorry. The Saiba Shibito, the cyber dead. In the early 21st century, Japan had an epidemic of chronic shut-ins, and the rise of direct link virtual reality only made that worse. Suddenly, people weren't just refusing to leave their rooms, they were refusing to leave their heads. But as the technology got better, the Saishi were the first to figure out how to use their own brains to sculpt cyberspace. Computers are good at thinking in straight lines, but the human brain is capable of so much more. The best virtual landscapes, the most real VR dramas and games, are created by the Saishi. Now, even if an earthquake or a meteor or whatever leveled Japan, they'd still have Neo Tokyo built on the VR net. But enough babbling. If you're interested, I'm sure you could find more out on the mesh, or use an induction helmet to visit Neo Tokyo yourself. It's a trip, especially for newbies. Oh, I never introduced myself, did I? I'm Ramona. I guess there isn't much to tell. I went to college, got a degree, took out a loan, and bought this place. Now I spend my days trying to find enough time and money to sustain my VR drama addiction. My priorities are justice, cute stuff, and magical girls, in that order. What else? I pretty much don't leave the store. Look, they've got the right to protest, but I don't have to like it. Once they're done with the hybrids, I know they'll be coming for me next. So I'll be voting appropriately. And if I have to unclog one more toilet because I'm an entitled, bigoted jerkface, I will lose my goddamn mind! Oh, you can't tell? I've got a cybernetic arm and leg, thanks to an AutoCAD crash when I was a kid. I also got Neuralinks for VR interfacing. If it was up to those dinosaurs, I'd be stuck in a wheelchair right now. Or worse, depending on how far back they want to push our medical technology. It's already illegal for me to have a rocket-powered fist. What more do they want? It does a good job, huh? Yeah. That's mine. Well, technically, it's property of Hassie Holdings. We spent some mints on it, but the rest of the block helps pitch in for maintenance costs since I usually set it to patrol the whole area. You should check it out when we do Christmas in July. It can cover the whole street in snow, as long as it's cloudy enough to keep the sun off. Sort of like today. Sorry, but that thing cost me way too many credits to let just anyone poke at it. I would need to see some serious credentials before I let you mess with it. You know, enough to make sure you can afford to replace it if you break it. Otherwise, no. Okay, enjoy your drink and let. Dr. Yannick Fairlight. I've heard of him. Why are you giving me his copy?
Yes! He's getting on in years, and it would be useful for when he goes out and about. That's why we wanted to see...
Yeah, okay. I guess you can take a peek. Don't bust it, though. I scanned this card, and I swear if you break my ROM, I'll be calling your boss. Here's the RFID key.
Thank you. This will surely be useful for our needs. Shall we go check it out? This ROM has multiple different climate control settings. Maybe we could make things a little more... Should I switch it to snow?
It's snowing? Okay, people, I for one didn't bring any winter wear. Let's call it a day.
work. While I still have doubts about the moral superiority of using subterfuge to disperse a protest, we at least accomplished our goal peacefully. And to be frank, considering how the human revolution is clearly working against my personal interests, I won't waste many clock cycles puzzling that ethical quandary out. Might I draw your attention to those youths over yonder? Counterculture clothing, obvious bad attitudes, and graffiti paraphernalia. Those could be our suspects who damaged my home in the name of revolution. I'm just making an observation. I see one of them is wearing a new set of Bang B-Stroke 129 headphones. Perhaps you can do some research for... Oh no, they've noticed our attentions. Come along, maybe we can catch them. We'll never catch them on foot. Hold on, I'm calling for... I know it seems a great deal of trouble for such a tenuous lead, but I have a hunch about... The wicked...